So, welcome. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a quick look at a demo project I've got going on here. It's called DHM. I just randomly chose a few letters and typed them into the keyboard. The page that you can see right now is our project summary. Now this gives you a couple of project statuses and stats, the number of members that are involved. There's only me in it. It's a public project. You're more than welcome to come and have a look if you want. And it gives us the Wiki Homepage that we see as the landing page as part of the summary. Now this is very early on, there isn't very much in here. If I go and have a look in the wiki, I've only got one page. It does mention in here that I may include links to work items, and I will show you the work items in a second, and then we can come back and link in a work item into here in a moment. Now I'm only planning to use the wiki, the boards and the pipelines in this demonstration. The repos I'm actually not going to use today because I'm going to be using GitHub instead. I have created the GitHub repo. It's under my username, Sam-Rowe, and the project is called DHM. Again, a public repo, open for you to go and have a look at the source code. So let's go and have a quick look at what I've already done in the work items. So in here we've got two epics, we have a couple of features, there are some stories, and there is a test case, and there have been some tasks. This is only showing me the recently updated. I can show also the recently completed, and I can show the recently created. Or I could show different kind of filters as they go along. Now, what I want to show next are the boards. So if we go to the Azure boards, and we are currently set up to look at the features. And I can have a look at the epics again. And we've been working on the epic for the proof of concept. Now my proof of concept is very simple. I basically want to get a Django application up and running in an app service with a build and deployment pipeline automatically set up to go end to end. That's what I see as a proof of concept, proving that I can get source code out there. I'll then work on MVP, which is my second epic. My second epic is around building some actual code and features to my application. If we dig into the POC epic and we have a look at the features that I decided to create for that, I split down my POC into two different feature sets. I've got a create infra feature and I have a most basic app feature. My create infra feature is assigned to me, and for dev we need some infra running to host the new dev site. And that had 4 child items assigned to it. If we drill down one level further to the stories, I have 4 stories involved: creating a DevOps project, a Git repo, a web app, and an app service plan. Now I created a series of tasks for each of these, and I can go and have a look at those tasks under the sprint view. And I might have to turn the filter on to show completed. So my web app, I had to create a DHM web application in my app service, create the plan, sorry. My repo, I needed to create a blank Python repo in GitHub. My DHM project and connect the project to the GitHub repo. My app service plan itself was to create an app service plan inside the Azure subscription. Now my app itself, if I dig into that one, you notice I can drill through in multiple different directions. Also had a test And my test was that my app service, when it's running, would show the default page, web application page. That's what I'm expecting it to show. And if I prove that, I can go through to my demo site, DHM demo. This is my app service. And if I click on the URL, that brings out my site. Now, close all of those up and go back to my boards. All of my stories are currently complete. So if I go back to my features, when I look at my features, my infra feature I believe is now complete. So I'm going to put a quick note on there in the discussion. Completed building out infra. Web app. DHM demo. Running in S1 plan. Github Repo, and we'll put that in. I shall bring that up in a second to show it's done, and we can go, and I'm going to save that at that point. So I put notes on it. And before I close it, I'm going to show you where that is in the project settings. So in my project settings, go GitHub Connections, and I can see that I created a connection from GitHub to Azure DevOps. I could have done this the other way around as well. So if I have a look in GitHub, I can go and look in the settings for my integrations, and under integrations I can see that I've got it set up for Azure boards and for Azure pipelines at this moment in time. And I go back to my boards. So I'm going to move this from active across to resolved, and in resolved space I consider that to be completed. Yeah, so I'm actually going to now step it across to closed. Now the next one is the most basic app. This is where we start to have some fun. I'm going to move this across to active, and you'll notice it goes from unassigned to being assigned to me. I'm going to put a few more details into this. What does a most basic app mean to me? Is a running Django application using the poll template.